What is the best thing to come out of Louisiana? Is it Popeyes? Lil-Wayne? Cajun food? That one gaff that the animals yapped about? All of those are decent answers, but I could definitively tell you what the worst thing to come out of Louisiana is. And no, it ain't the smell. It's this man right here.
On the way through his fucking bed! When you was at was sitting left me!
This man goes by the online alias of the 1500 Demon, or La Hisoka, and is mainly known for his strange music and an obsession with a girl called Sydni.
Never been the same since Sydney left. Happy birthday, Sydney! I let you go because I loved ya. Ever since Sydney left me, I feel like a clown.
He's been rapping about this girl for over 3 years now, talking about the freaky stuff they did, how depressed he is, and how he still needs her. His music sometimes spills out into other videos of him ranting, where he tells us, the viewer, about his restraining orders, making threats towards his exes, and how Sydni turned him into a demon.
You a grown ass man got a restraining order on another nigga.
He makes other tunes too, rapping about riding around with guns, being a killer, and being an actual demon. For the first time ever in this series, I hadn't actually seen this man before. I only came across him upon the suggestions of a few followers telling me to take a look into this man. And look into this man, I did. Below the surface level of tweaking and speaking, rapping and ranting, I found a story of hatred, addiction, jealousy, obsession, façade, misogyny, degeneracy, and last but not least, noncery. Seeing these strange acts made me question as to what's wrong with this man. Why does he do the things that he does? Is this all a facade? Is Sydni even real? And is he really about what he raps? Come with me down this rabbit hole as we try to find answers to our questions and more in this investigation into the 1500 Demon, one of the internet's strangest characters.
Looking for Sydney! Scared of me, yes. This ain't no fucking threat, it's a promise. Shame, I thought you had no strive. Farted in your mouth.
Hey. What's up?
Please like and subscribe, please.
To best understand this man, it's best to start at his peak, the 1500 Demon TikTok page, and work our way backwards to see what changed him and where it started to go wrong. The first and most prominent thing on his page is his obsession with a girl called Sydni. It starts off with him merely mentioning that he misses the girl and how she changed him in certain ways.
Sydney, I miss you. I wish that I could kiss you. I think a bitch that ain't gonna give a fuck.
But as the music goes on, the stuff he raps and rants about starts to get a bit strange and freaky.
It's the same bitch. It's the same hoe. Bitch, I farted in your mouth. It's the same bitch that wanted me to piss in her fucking throat. I should have in that bitch throat before she fucking left me.
Farting and pissing in her mouth. That is rather disgusting. But each to their own, I suppose. He oftentimes mentions throughout his raps that he is from 1500 and says he is the best thing to come out of ALG.
I'm the best thing that ever came out of ALG.
This gives us a location for the guy, the French Quarter of New Orleans, or more specifically, Algiers. That isn't of much use to us now, but it might come in handy later on when checking for records of the guy. To continue with the sexual deviancy, he states many times that every girl that he has sexual relations with, he owns.
Any bitch I fuck, I own. You on the net popping it like you're not scared.
So far, so strange, but still, I've heard worse. So far, he comes across as a freaky guy that has a strange obsession with his ex. It goes further still. Take a look at the clothes that he wears. They look like women's clothes. Perhaps they're Sydney's? Maybe not. It's going on the board though. For a guy who is obsessed with a girl, he is rather flamboyant. Basically,
Fruit bag.
be that his poses, the way he dresses, the way he speaks.
Bitch, you know who the fuck I am. I feel like it's 2019 again. I feel like I'm 16 again. I feel like a child again. I feel like I'm in my prime again.
But perhaps that's how people from Louisiana talk. I'm not too familiar with the accent. Why would a guy that seemingly plays for the other team be obsessed with a girl? But then I remembered people can be partially gay, aka bisexual. It's not black and white. Moving on from that, we get to the dark stuff on his TikTok page. Threats against the girl. Not just her, but also her potential child.
Why you talking like that? Why you trying to make it seem like I ain't mean nothing? I ain't mean nothing? That's how you trying to make it seem. What you got that bitch more than me? That bitch don't love you more than I do. And when I catch you with your baby, I'm gonna kill you all three of y'all. This ain't no fucking threat, it's a promise.
Now this guy has a few screws loose, if you couldn't tell already. But in turn, threats against the child goes past the point of having a screw loose. To back that up, having a screw loose, the guy has previously mentioned that he has been to the mental hospital before. What for? Well, he doesn't directly say, but it could be, as seen so far, to do with his obsession with that girl Sydni, perhaps wanting to kick his own bucket over her. Moving on from that, we get to his music. I don't know if he actually takes what he makes seriously, because some of it is atrocious. I mean, really bad. Take a listen to some of this.
He's so good. I miss Sydni so motherfucking much. Wearing L15 and everything. Gotta suck around with that L15 and I'm motherfucking straight. I don't give a fuck, never. It's over. I can't believe how you go. But I want to lay. They'll see 22 on me. Make a pussy nigga hit the lay. Happy birthday, Sydni. Ever since Sydni left me, I feel like a clown. Bitch to the bell.
He does mention that he isn't a rapper, he just talks his mind on the track. But I haven't a clue if people take this music seriously.
What the fuck you think I am? I ain't one of them. I ain't never been no rap nigga.
Well, I'll tell you, he does take it seriously. Trap star Quanos. I don't know if you know who he is, but he commented on La Hisoka's page a few years back when he was a lot smaller than he is now. Trap star Quanos must like his music. To be fair, he is strange as well, so 2 peas in a pod. I must say, despite the lyrics being diabolical, most of the time being the same flow repeated, especially when it comes to riding around with an AR-15 and not needing sympathy, combined with the continual gagging, I've heard that line in nearly every song I've listened to. The beats he uses are actually good in my eyes. That Area 51 type beat isn't very good though. Music will be key throughout this investigation, as La Hisoka mainly expresses himself through music, as most do. And it's the main form of media which he posts, especially when going further back into his story. The penultimate thing of note from his page is him claiming to be famous since the age of 16.
I've been famous since I was a child.
I've been famous since I was 16.
If this remains true, then we can link it to what's wrong with him. Being famous from a young age is notoriously bad for your mental health. Just take a look at the likes of Lindsay Lohan, Justin Bieber, Jaden Smith.
Kind of.
The thing is though, I haven't actually heard of him, ever. And I don't think that this is true, but I'll put it on the board for now. And the final thing that we see is that he takes a lot of perks by the looks of it, in tandem with promethazine syrup, aka wok, aka that purple drank, aka scissorp, as the 3-6 Mafia would say. He takes a lot of them too, but I don't know how long he's been taking them for, so we can put this on the board and look back at it to see if he's addicted or not. With the mention of the Psych Ward 2, he could be on antidepressants, but that's a bit of a reach. That pretty much covers all of his TikTok content. I'm sure that he would have had a bigger page before the one that he has currently, which has only been around for about a year. We haven't got that much yet, but there's plenty more content if we look to Instagram, where there's stuff going back 3 more years to 2022. Let's see if we can figure out some more answers from there, shall we? At first glance, we don't get any more additional information. No link trees, no name, nothing really. Let's go to the very bottom and see what we can find. The first thing that we get is some music from the 16th of December 2022. Let's take a listen. I see that his music hasn't evolved much, the lyrics are pretty much the same, and guess what? He's still talking about Sydni. He's also still talking about being a killer and shooting at people. Yeah, it's the same old, same old.
Talking tough like I the killer. Bitch kill take on me and the bitch straight as a liver. Damn.
That girl Sydney must have been his childhood romance sweetheart or something like that. They surely must have been together for years if he's still not over her. Speaking of, this is what she looks like. She is real. I initially thought that she didn't exist. I thought she was part of the Demon's musical act, as he claims to be a musical artist as opposed to a rapper. But she does eventually come out of the woodworks when La Hisoka posts her, and that's her there. Speaking of girls, a few more posts up. Two other girls are mentioned, Freedom and Shanice.
If I see Sydney, Shanice, or Freedom in public, I'ma push they
They will continue to appear throughout, although they aren't mentioned nearly as much as Sydney, or Nene, as the Demon says.
Nene.
The next song that we see, of note, is him claiming to go to jail for her love.
I went to jail for your love, and if you ass nigga try to be with me.
There was about a 4-month break in posting from early February to late May 2023. And that snippet was posted in the May. With him claiming to go to jail for her love, it would be easy to say that Sydney has put a restraining order on him. The Demon 2 also mentions several times throughout that when he was on the inside, people kept coming up to him and saying that he's ruthless for breaking his restraining order. This is the only real break in post from the Demon, so I don't think he violated it again, but he will come close, very close, a bit later down the line. To continue with the rapping and ranting, or self-snitching in some cases, he raps about being a domestic abuser.
I'm a loser. That nigga think I'm pussy cause I'm an abuser. Nigga, I beat you the fuck up, it's how I beat this bitch. Every bitch I loved, afraid of me. I'm man enough to say I should never beat my bitch.
I don't think he learned to stop doing that either, as a bit later down the line, he raps about it again, saying that his producers are telling him to stop or he'll end up back in jail. Quite clearly a horrible guy with no remorse if other people have to tell him to stop hitting women. What compounds that and makes it worse is that kids are apparently coming up to him saying that they want to be like him. A borderline stalker woman beater, and as we'll see later down the line, nonce.
Goofy ass niggas will never know what it's like to have a child running up to you, talking about I won't be ya.
To be fair to the Demon, he can't really control his influence upon others, so I can't really blame him for that, but still, I can take the piss out of him for being a loser. Remember those clips from earlier, where he spoke about being famous at the age of 16? Well, I think I found the clip.
You wanna get it on? Negative. You wanna see me? No. You better come on inside? Negative. You better step foot in that 15? Negative. No, no, no. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? You scared of me? Yes. Don't you want bang? No. You clutching behind that? No. Negative. Impossible. No Kim. What's wrong with you? Use a piece of yes. Yes. VV's on my neck? Yes. Your wife belong to me? Yes. You want to see me? No. Your whole clique is scared of me? Yes. Correct. Yes. Y'all with that? No. I'm with that? Yes. What's wrong with you? See me. See me. See me. See me. Use a piece of see me. What the fuck?
Famous. I don't know about that. Maybe in New Orleans, but I haven't seen that clip before, and I'm sure many of you haven't either. Let me know in the comments if I'm at a miss here or not, but I'm confident that I am right, so that point of being famous is coming off the board. The next snippet that gives us some more information isn't until a few months later, where he tells us that 2 years ago he was 18, which would have been 2021, which means that he is currently 22 or 23. It would be safe to say that he was born in 2002.
Go back in time 2 years ago, I was in a cool crying at what we have to. I was 18.
This information will come in handy later. To go alongside that, Sydney left the Demon when he was 18, so that childhood romance story could be more likely. In terms of content, we're still in 2023 and the shite music doesn't stop. He starts making racist music, saying that in his past life he must have been white as he hates other races. I don't know, man. Just take a listen.
Bitch in my beer talk about Lil Demon was the scene here. Pussy bitch, shut the fuck up. I swear to God, in my past life, I had to be a fucking cause I was fucking hated haters.
Surely he cannot be taking what he makes seriously. You can't even call it music at this point. To carry on with the shite music, we get some very interesting information in the August of this year.
Big booty on my bird and I just slipped a little on Mickey pill. And they even fucking no.
Alrighty, I think this guy might be on his way to matching Lil Ma in terms of horrific music and diabolical acts.
As soon as you touch, now when I put an X in you, because you was swallowing, you wasn't gonna fuck. As soon as I give you a tab and an X pill, now you swallowing my neck. Okay.
Spiking girls' drinks. What the actual is wrong with this guy? This is definitely going on the board. So far, so bad. The more we look into this guy, the worse he gets, and the more I feel for Sydney. Poor girl must be horrified, knowing that this guy is out there, owning the fact that he's an abuser, spiker, addict. Christ. Moving on to something slightly lighter, the demon raps about the clothes that he wears, and that hypothesis earlier of those being Sydney's clothes is now confirmed.
Bitch, I'm up 5 racks, but I'm still wearing Sydney clothes. Peace. Something I ain't scared to die, but I'm scared of the pretty Sydney.
We can't take his word as bond, as they would say in New York. Just because he said it's true doesn't mean it's true. But I also fact-checked as to whether Sydney did go to the school on that fleece that the demon wears, and it turns out he is not lying. She went to that school. With this being factually true, it wouldn't be a push to say that the other stuff that he raps about, like spiking drinks, hitting girls, and now wearing Sydney's clothes, is true. That throws the idea of him rapping for the sake of clicks out of the window, mostly. The downward spiral continues a few months after, as we see the 1500 demon starting to add wok to his diet. You may have seen in the other clips that he was also on perks around 2022, which tells us that he's been on the perks for years, and it would be fair to say that he's addicted to both, so we can now cement that on the board. Now, to carry on with his raps being truths, he says this.
Light-skinned bitch in a passenger seat trying to eat my meat. Trying to eat that bird without consent. Full physical in this got me fucking big.
I don't exactly know what the bird refers to. Is it himself? Plunge? His worm? I haven't a clue. But he said before, called himself the bird before, so I don't know.
Got a new song with the bird. I got some with my bird right now.
But trying to eat the bird without consent sounds a bit p. I'm focusing on the without consent part, not the bird part. This goes alongside the slipping Mickey's line. It's the deviant special. Even if it's not true and I'm mistaken, we still have enough so far to see that he's a wrong 'un. Moving on, we get into February 2024. And we get the worst month in terms of self-snitching for La Hisoka, and 2, we see a new category of media. Instead of rapping and ranting, we get tweaking and speaking, where he looks like he's lost his mind. I think the perks have swanton bombed him, and the woks have got him in the twist of fate. Oh, you haven't seen a beating this bad since the Hardy Boys. Take a look.
Myself, cause these little bad niggas ain't gonna kill Nathan.
Disgusting, dribbly mess. Christ. I don't think Sydney will want him back after seeing that, as if the stuff already wasn't bad enough. Around this time, he admits to being an addict, saying that he spends all of his money on Purple Rain, straight up saying that his priorities are a mess.
Nigga, I'm a drug addict.
I could've been got my life together if I ain't had this fucking habit. If I wasn't on these fucking pills. Ex-bitch see me in public, then I start to feel ill.
The next thing that we see, a slideshow of snippets on the 5th of February, and a line that he drops may indicate that he was pimping Sydney out when they were in a relationship.
What the fuck is on Reddit? When I had Sydney selling me something, you niggas was in her DM. Going down with all my bitch.
Maybe this is a reach, but it's going on the board. You may have noticed that he gags on the beat, but I've yet to point it out. It's just another thing that goes towards him taking his craft as a joke. Right, the next bar of note is this one. Just take a listen.
Rap niggas sound like him. I ain't never heard of nigga. Ride around with a 50 clip with 2 ranks and a fucking J. This nigga try and cancel me cause this bad ass bitch I was fucking on 17. This nigga try and cancel me cause this bad ass bitch I was fucking on 17. Bad ass bitch I was fucking on 17.
No, don't do that. Don't ever do that.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what the opportunity is.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
ever do that.
Got him. We fucking got him.
The bad bitch I'm f***ing on was 17. 17. This was posted in 2024, so La Hisoka would have been 21 or 22. This man has just outed himself on a track. What the actual f*** is wrong with this guy? There isn't any excuse in the world for noncery.
But Fred, the age of consent in Louisiana is 17. I don't care. An adult putting his worm in someone who isn't an adult makes you That is definitely going on the board.
Disclaimer, this man isn't legally a nonce in the state of Louisiana, but would be in the state of Tennessee. It is the nonce-like behaviour that leads me to pin this to the board. Still a nonce, just not legally a nonce. Call it 2 states away from being a nonce. This obviously further compounds this diabolical man, now making him an addicted, stalker, freak, spiker, abusing, tweaking, and kids apparently want to be like him. Oh my lord. Is really no one better to look up to in New Orleans. Moving on from that, we get even more evidence for this stalker case. Have a listen.
Ask one of my exes. Ask one of my brother-in-laws. If I could be rapping. Yeah, everything I love had to escape out the state. Yeah, because I really do what the fuck I say.
You can ask my brother-in-law. That's not exactly something to be proud of, is it? All of the girls, meaning at least 3, have left the state because of him. Surely he can't be that bad. Well, a few months later, we get videos of him roaming the streets looking for Sydni by the sounds of it.
In the snow, crying over you, looking for you, looking for Sydni. I go post him in front of your house and you know where to be found. Tell the motherfucking police come pick me up. Tell the police come make me something. Cause these niggas ain't gonna wait for nothing.
This isn't the first time he's done this either. He's done it before. He even said himself that he's stuck in a loop looking for the girl.
Y'all attention, dog. I swear to God, I be going through the same shit. I swear to God, I'm stuck in a fucking genjutsu. Cause I be going through the same shit over and over.
Perhaps Sydney did something to him to make him like this, obsessed. Well, something does get mentioned. In the middle of 2024, take a look.
My entire existence has to be like a punishment for something I did in my past life or something. Why?
They say I'm delusional, they say I'm crazy. I swear I ain't crazy, my nigga. Yeah. You know how many ass gangsters watching me right now? You know how many niggas swear I'm a watching me right now?
I have no choice but to become comfortable with my sexuality. If you know, you know. Sydney literally gave me no choice.
It speaks for itself.
There was a screenshot going around in the comment sections of La Hisoka's supposed story, saying that basically Sydney caught the demon watching X-rated videos of females with worms and sacked him off because of that. Hence the demon saying that he has no other choice but to be proud of his sexuality. I don't really know what to make of this. If this is true, then the demon was cut off because Sydney felt like the demon didn't actually like her as she didn't have a worm. However, if you put yourself in the demon's shoes, then Sydney wrongfully sacked him off because he was being who he was. You can't really choose if you like worms and or clunge. Even so, both sides are understandable, be that the demon feeling unjustly cut off and Sydney feeling like her man was actually playing for the wrong team. Still, I don't understand how that can make the demon do the other stuff that he does. Noncing, spiking, abusing and the like. He might use this as an excuse for why he does what he does, but if you look at the timeline, he says he choked Sydney out in front of her mother whilst they were in a relationship.
Biggest regret in my fucking life is putting my hands on Sydney, son.
Where you put your hands on, son?
I choked that hoe up in front of mama, son.
So he can't use that as an excuse because he was abusing her before she ruined his life and cut him off for liking worms, you know what I mean? Carrying on with that Sydney stuff, the demon claims to have met Sydney when she was a fan of his.
Sydney pretty ass, how she make us man me. She was a fan, just like the rest of them stupid.
Hearing this, I tried to find out when they first met through some even older videos, and luckily for us, I think I found the exact moment. I think this is the clip right here from late November 2019. The quality of the video is horrific, and you cannot see her face properly, really. However, this girl's name is Sydney, so it's possible it's her.
Hey, y'all just like...
Oh, Mia, talk about some Sydney get off here.
So, alright, so as soon as y'all seen each other, y'all was fucking with that.
Lord, stop playing with her. Stop fucking playing.
In the background of the live, you can see that there's crowned mould on the ceiling. and some pictures from Sydney's actual Instagram, she also has crown mould on her ceiling. So their houses are similar. So yeah, it's a bit of a reach, but I am 85% sure that this is the Sydney. Also from this live, we get the demon's actual name, which is Sterling. It took me ages to find this clip, but I found it nonetheless. Look how good I am at investigating. But for the life of me, I could not find his last name. There's no trace of it anywhere. I've looked across every account that he owns, the people that he follows to find some familial connection, but nothing. All I can find for the guy personally is that he lives in Algiers, is born in 2002, and his name is Sterling. Anyhow, Sterling stated earlier that Sydney was a fan when they first met, but I wouldn't say that looking at this personally.
Ooh, hey,
Hey,
what's that with you?
what's up?
You know who you talking to?
Yeah, but I know who I'm talking to.
If this is that Sydney, which I'm 85% sure of, then they met first online in 2019. And as he said in 2022, they broke up 2 years ago, 2020. This is backed by Sydney herself, saying that she hasn't spoken to Sterling since 2020. So at the very, very, very most, they were together for a year, assuming that they linked straight after this live was released. But most likely, they would have been together for around 6 months. Even if this isn't the Sydney, Sterling was looking for girls to link with during this live. So he was single at this point, which means that if this wasn't the Sydney, then they would have been together for an even shorter amount of time, shorter than half a year. That throws the childhood romance theory out of the window. Crashing out and ruining your reputation over a girl for whom you were with for less than a year is insane. But as we've seen so far, the guy is clearly beyond the scope of most. Might even go as far to say that he's worse than Lil Ma in terms of the things that he's done. But I'll get onto that when we get to the board. From this live too, we see that he lives with both parents, and he seems close with them, joking about, calling his father
Daddy, that's my daddy, son.
endeared to his family. So it would be a push to say that he's from a broken home, so we can't use that as an excuse for what he's done. Moving on from that, we get to 2025. There's only really 2 things to pluck out from this year. This is the first.
Pretty wife about a cough. She need a hole. Told her hoe back up. COVID. I don't know what you got. No. Pretty bitch on my eye. It's my bird. What you heard? Oh, yeah, there's a nerd. Give a fuck. AOP with a 50 clip. Keep it tough. Go. It's under the seat in the Yukon. Just a beyond.
Laughing at his own music. I guess he isn't really taking the stuff he makes seriously. Does he make it for it to be laughed at? Is it supposed to be funny because of how bad it is? I haven't a clue, but to be fair, he never said that he was a rapper. I think he does speak truth on his verses, more like ranting instead of rapping, and makes music to try and get attention rather than producing something good. I don't think that he'll ever make it out of the underground though, as he steals the beats that he uses, even rapping about it on the song, making his own meta-genre in turn. The second thing that we get from this year only happened recently, where Sterling claimed to have gotten pulled up on a weapons charge, but got off. That's not very surprising, considering that he raps about riding around with an AR-15 and flashes his guns a lot.
I was just locked up in that cell, having nightmares about my exes, cause I got caught up with them women.
The final thing of note that we get is actually from 2021, via a story highlight, where we see that Yeet, the rapper Yeet, knows of Sterling's existence, telling him that his music is rubbish. That's pretty much it. The Demon is currently collaborating with some other content creators, be that for money or to push his content, or both. Let's go to the board, shall we, and see if we can answer our questions. We have more than enough to come to a conclusion. Right, okay, let's go over the board for the 1500 Demon, and try and answer our questions and see what we learn about the man. Right, before we start this, I know I normally dress up as the characters of which I'm covering, but I'm not wearing that. As Kevin Samuels once said, we don't play that on my channel. From just seeing him act strangely, we posed the questions
Is it all an act in regards to his music, what he says? Is he about it? We get that from his music, mentioning riding around with an AR-15, being a killer, being a stalker, being a nonce, and so on and so on. And what's wrong with him? If it is real, why does he act in such a bizarre way? Let's go over what we know about the guy. What we know personally is that he is from Algiers, NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana. He's 22 years old, being born in 2002, so it's likely that he's 23 now. His other handle is Lahisoka. His name is Sterling, but for the life of me, I could not find a last name, so this investigation will be a bit skewed as I can't actually look into him through criminal records like I could do other characters like Mark Jackson or Kelly Oliver or Charles Martin. It might skew the investigation a little bit, but it won't impact it too much because we have enough to look for something in the criminal records. But still, I looked for criminal records in New Orleans, stuff like restraining orders, but they're not public information restraining orders. I'm sure if you went to a courthouse and looked back on open and closed cases, you'll be able to find it. But obviously, I don't live in New Orleans, so I can't do that. Okay, let's go through what's wrong with him. Right, the first thing we figured out was that he's a freaky guy, be that the farting and in the mouth. We're disgusted, isn't it? Then we saw that he mentioned going to a psych ward because perhaps he was suicidal, but we don't know if it's over her for sure, but I'm pretty sure it could be over her. He mentioned previously that people when he was inside, he doesn't mention whether it was jail or the psych ward, talking about the demon, you keep violating your restraining order. So he could have gone to the psych ward because of the restraining order, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to lean towards the fact that it is over her, so I'm going to say it is. So rightfully or wrongfully ended, that goes to, I suppose, not what's wrong with him, but what went wrong with him and Sydni for him to spiral into what he is, was that he likes girls with worms. Leaning into that, Sydni supposedly broke up with him because she found out that he actually likes girls with worms. So the question is, was it rightfully or wrongfully ended? I don't know. You could look at it both ways, but if you put yourself in both shoes, it's just a bit of a sticky one. So I'm going to avoid answering that. The Perks and Scissor, he's been on them for, I would say, 3-4 years, since 2022 at least. He's been chugging them in most videos, and even before that, when Lahisoka had the blonde hair as here, this was about late 2021. So he's been taking it for about 4 years, and before that there's a video with him with blonde hair where he's taking shrooms as well. So he's been taking a lot of stuff, and I think that's fucked up his mental a little bit. The Hardy Boys, aka Mr. Wok and Mr. Perk, have him in a chokehold. We also see that both parents were present. It would be hard to contest that he's not from a broken home. His parents could still be pricks to him, but I think they're most likely normal people. So I think to say he's wrong because he's from a broken home would be a big push. So what is actually wrong with him? Why is he so manic, obsessed with this woman? Why does he stalk? Why does he threaten children? I think it's the Hardy Boys. That's why he's like he is. He's always so aggressive and obsessive, and the perks and the syrup mixed together, I don't think that is a good thing for anyone to be under. It could also be the reason why he went to a psych ward. Perhaps he had a break from reality because of the perks and the syrup, mixing it with potentially shrooms as well, as we've seen before. I think most likely perks and scissor is the answer for a lot of this. But even still, there's some old videos, if you take a look at these.
I'ma murk that little boy on my soul, you hear me? I don't even got no soul. You talking to a demon, I'ma still murk that little boy.
The fat hoes don't lie. Don't
See that little BBW, you hear me? Nigga wagging map. I'm like, man, you serious? 15.
Now these are from high school, and he's still rather aggressive and a crash out, as people would say. He's loud. I think it's just who he is. Him being aggressive and obsessive is just his personality. But the perks and scissor and the shrooms just him up and make him even worse. Could there be anything wrong with him mentally? Yeah, sure. Probably some kind of bipolar, maybe, because he comes across sometimes as chilled and relaxed. If you look at his live streams with other people, he seems rather normal. So it does lead into the fact that he could be putting it on for his music, but still there's those videos of him just tweaking and speaking, as we saw earlier, that lead into the fact that it's not all an act and it's just who he is. We get on to, is it all an act? And by that I mean, is his music all an act? Is his obsession with Sydni an act? Is what he talk about an act? And yeah. Right, so the first thing that goes into him being strange and not being all an act is him wearing Sydni's clothes. A normal person wouldn't do that. He's just embedding himself in her clothes because he's obsessed with her. For that to be an act would be, yeah, far beyond the limit of, yeah, anything really. Is his obsession with her an act? I don't think it is. I think it's real. I haven't actually spoken about Sydni that much because I don't really want to talk about the girl in this video. She's got enough going on with her own life, be that him involuntarily pushing people towards her. But she's a singer right now and she's doing pretty well for herself. And I think he's jealous of the fact that she's going places without him. What is strange about that though is that they were together for at most a year. I think maybe the rightfully wrongfully ending of their relationship does play a big part in that, because he probably feels like it was wrongfully ended because of his fantasy with girls with worms, and I think that does play a big part in it. Yeah, we saw that the childhood romance theory just wasn't true whatsoever, because if that girl is the girl, then the girl from the live, then yeah, it's just him being obsessed. Now onto his music. Is his music all an act? By that I mean, does he take it seriously to a point of wanting to be professional at it? I think it's 50-50. He must know his music is strange, to say the least. People comment it all the time, and he's even in his car laughing with other people at his own music, talking about peons. Yeah, so I think his music, he won't ever make it out of the underground. The stuff he raps on it, well, rants about, in his words, he says he goes onto the beats and just speaks his mind. I think the stuff he talks about is true. He wouldn't just make up worming a 17-year-old and being a nonce and spiking drinks just for clicks. He's not big enough for that. Maybe he's trying to be big enough for that, push himself into a wider market, like Seth Kinstall type, just spamming shit until it goes. But I don't think has that in mind. So I think he just speaks his mind about his music and it's just shit. Playing into that is the persona he puts on for the camera. Is that all an act? I don't think so. I think the perks have got him so tight in that Hardy Boys Twist of Fate and Swanton Bomb that he's just lost it a little bit, and the stuff he's on has just got him choked. And finally, is he about it? To answer it quickly, there's no way that we can tell. The stuff he raps about, riding around when they're 15, being a killer, as he says quite a few times when he's talking about Sydni, he says, oh, you don't want a new man like that, I'm a killer. It's unlikely, but it's possible. He has a criminal record because he went to jail for violating a restraining order, but because I don't know his last name, there's no way to tell really. See, when was the last time you saw a zesty fruit bag killer? The Wire, Omar Little, it's possible he's a shooter, but the way he totes his gun is a bit zestified, you know what I mean? And gagging on the beat doesn't help with that either. To be fair, I don't think that is how it is down in New Orleans, because Lil-Wayne doesn't really spit like that. So that'll be coming off the board. This guy does spike drinks knowingly. I don't know why you would ever admit that or admit anything he's talked about on his songs. The auto-snitching, it comes across as him being proud of what he's done. Why would you ever be proud of spiking someone's drink? I don't fucking know. This guy's, yeah, he's a wrong one with questions about him which we've tried to answer, but still, he doesn't show that much of himself on social media, unlike a lot of the people I've covered. So a lot of these answers will be somewhat stretches. And Sydney, poor girl, must be absolutely horrified of him wandering the streets looking for her, threatening to obviously take her and her child out. It's just wrong. Very, very wrong. And how this guy has influenced the children, I will never know. And that comes full circle and we are done. I think we answered our questions relatively well. Again, some of them are stretches, but they're good enough for the evidence we have. Let me know if you think differently.
The 1500 demon, aka La Hisoka, aka Sterling, will go down as one of the strangest characters on the internet, with his bizarre self-snitching, over-the-top obsession, and weird musical talent. He's been low, going to the psych ward because of his obsession, tweaking out of his mind, but he's also been up, managing to get paid off of his plug-and-b music. Let me know your favourite 1500 demon moment in the comments down below, and some other character suggestions too. Thank you very much for watching, like the video if you liked the video, and subscribe for more content like this in the future. As always, have a good day now.